Hey guys, welcome to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate. I'm your host, Dean Harris, and as always, I'm with Doug Skipworth. How are you, buddy?
Hey man, doing great.
We're bringing you this podcast to give you the boots on the ground knowledge to be a successful real estate investor here in Memphis, Tennessee. Please like and subscribe to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate on our YouTube channel, Spotify, Facebook page, wherever you want to listen to the podcast. Show sponsors are listed on your screen below. We would not be able to do this podcast without their support, run our personal business without them. We've got Triumph Construction, River City Title, Cortland Financial, CrestCore Property Management, and then Will Griffin with Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer. I help buyers and sellers every day in the Memphis market. Dean at CrestCore.com. If you're looking for an investment property of any kind, shape, color, price range, whatever it may be, Dean at CrestCore.com. I'll be happy to help you. Well, you know.
Hey man, this is great.
Yeah.
Glad to be with you.
Is the real estate market back, Douglas?
It's feeling like it's something in the spring, like the little grass coming up, little flowers coming up.
So this time of year, I thought spring is popping. We're getting ready. Our kids are out of school and just got out of school, and interest rates are ticking down slowly. I believe we're going to see another drop or two this year, maybe three, depending on what we're looking at. I never like to predict that because you never know what's coming. But from all intents and purposes, what we're hearing, I believe we're going to have a reduction. That's not necessarily why I base this podcast today, though. This isn't really like a futuristic lookout. This is a little bit more of, what's happening right this second and what's going on right now. So I'm seeing more transactions in the last 60 days than I have seen in the first 3 months of the year.
Yes. April was the best month. In the brokerage, April was the best month of the year so far. And I didn't go back to look at previous months, but I imagine that would go back into 2024 as well.
We did not sell as many houses in any month in 24 as we did in April.
That's what I was curious. I didn't look at that, but I bet
what was the closing number?
I think 41 sides.
Yeah, so we represented 41 clients in April, closing a transaction, and that's good.
Yeah, wow.
But we haven't done that in 24. I think the last time we did that was back in 23.
Yeah,
we had some really good months.
But I will say, I did check, and as of this point, you are the number one agent in Memphis based on transactions.
Awesome, thank you.
So
we're working.
Great job.
We're working in there, and they're selling. Moreover, not even the facts about me. That just means that what we're doing and the properties I'm sourcing are working.
Yes,
somebody's buying them.
So
never mind if you
Good point.
They're buying. They're closing and they're selling. And of course, I'm not the only agent out there that's been able to sell some stuff. But my reason today really was just about those two things. Last month, this month. We haven't had these kind of months. It's the leads that are coming in are different. All of you guys listening on this, I'm getting more and more people that are emailing in saying, hey, I heard you guys on the podcast. I'd like to get on your buyer's list. Send me that buyer profile link. So I'm getting more and more of those. I feel like the time of the year is natural for that to happen, but I also believe that there's the consumer's confidence level is rising.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. Cortland set up to have potentially the best month they've ever had in May, this month.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So they're set up to have the best month they've ever had.
Cortland's had some strong months.
Yeah, they've had some strong months. So to your point, a lot of stuff's happening. Sales prices, I looked at some of the data, sales prices are higher than they've ever been.
Ever.
Because they just keep going up.
Don't you think that's probably all markets right now?
Yeah.
I think everyone.
Sales prices across the country, everybody would say the price of a home, median price is the highest it's ever been.
So as we're talking about this, you might, some people might say, "Hey, Dean, what are some of those? Why do you think that?"
Okay.
You just super cool. Yes, but no. But do you understand? Like, tell me why, Dean? What are you saying? Some of the indicators are closing costs are being paid. Sellers becoming more flexible.
Yes.
Okay. So when you ask me why do you think that, because when I submit an offer to a seller and in past it's hell no, this is what we're going to do it at.
Cash only.
Only this. All the other things that sellers like to
no contingencies.
Posture about. Yeah. We're seeing less of that.
Okay.
We're seeing a little bit more of, hey, what can you work out for me?
Cooperation.
Closing costs are paid for, lower prices being accepted, other small concessions throughout, like a warranty, or will you go fix something?
Yep.
Or can you go run a test on that AC condenser to make sure that it works? Like a year and a half ago, all of that was child's play. We wouldn't listen to any of that on a listing side.
Right.
No. Absolutely not, right?
Yeah.
Now you got to switch that around. Okay. Things are beginning to turn a little. I'm not sitting here telling you that we flipped, but we use this pendulum swing a lot when we talk, right?
That's right.
And if one way it's sellers all the way, and the other's buyers all the way, and if we've been in a situation to where sellers have been just really pushing that, we're moving down not a tick. I think we've moved down to almost half.
Right. Yeah, where it seems more equitable.
Yeah, it's just easier to get a deal done now.
Good.
They're more
for both sides.
For both sides. This is truthfully, this is
healthy,
the juiciest part of real estate.
Normal.
Yeah. If you're a real estate agent and you're in the market, which you need to think like that, because if you're a buyer or a seller in the market, you need to know when it's the right time. But if you're an agent in this market and you're not taking advantage of this right now, shame on you, because it is a great time for sellers because we got some eager buyers.
Yes.
And it's a great time for buyers because we're just getting some eager sellers.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of eagerness on each side, and that's rare. And that only happens in the pendulum when it begins to tick down before it gets to halfway, because once we get to halfway, it's going to start switching the other way.
Right, that's right.
So you have a small gap right in there to where you can get some deals done. Agents can get some contracts going. Buyers can get, add to their portfolio, and sellers can move a property that they want to. So
awesome.
What does this mean for the market? That was my next kind of thing. Okay. Like, what is that? What does it mean when all these things are happening? You're going to get more demand, okay? But there's going to be more people enter. I've said this before on the podcast here. Every quarter of a point that the interest rate drops, 4 million buyers enter the market. Yeah. Those aren't all investor buyers, but 4 million buyers enter the market. That can affect your investor buy, though. Because if you're in an area that's a good area that could be a residential, owner-occupant type of area, the prices are going to go up. Let's see here. More competition. You're gonna get that, and you're gonna get some higher pricing. So, all of those things that they're entering the market, you're just gonna be able. You're gonna be faced with some of that as we go. I don't think you got a window here, though. That's kind of
you do have a window.
You got a window before all of this happens. Before the high demand and higher pricing and more. That's gonna come at the end of this year and going into 25.
Yeah.
Right. You're just gonna face that. Now we're right in that little juicy spot. Right.
Yes.
Nobody knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Everybody's wondering what's the next thing going to be. I'm telling you, it's going to switch over to the buyer's market, and then everything's going to be expensive as hell again, and you're going to wonder why I can't get any deals done. Yes. Now's the time. You have that gap, and you have that little room right now to move and to maybe add 2 or 3 quickly.
Yeah,
I'm here to tell you at the end of the year, it's going to be higher pricing. Rates are going to be about a half a point lower than what they are right now, and we're going to be going into 25 with all kinds of consumer confidence. Crystal ball time.
Yeah, I mean, it made me think about like when you're playing, like the kids are playing, and then the adults come, and then so it's like there's more competition. It reminded me of when I was in high school, 1989, after freshman year. I was playing basketball, and I was hooping up at SMU because I lived real close to SMU, and their Coliseum where they played was next door, and they had a rec center, so I'd play in the rec center with all the college kids.
Sure.
Texas All-Star basketball. High school basketball game was going to come be played. So we're just hooping. But then Shaq comes in. And so it's like everybody else, you can't play anymore.
No,
so
you're done.
You're done because there's too much. There's just too much going on.
Well, the competition level just skyrocketed.
And so you're saying that there's a window right here before something happens.
There's some time at the rec center to play.
Yes.
Before Shaq shows up and stomps on you, to use your story and analogy.
He stomped on. We didn't get to play with him, but of course, we watched him.
Right.
We just sat back and watched.
Probably would have been the same as playing with him too.
Yeah, back then, man. Right. Back then,
watching and playing with Shaq, I would imagine it's the same thing.
Crazy. But so you want to get in there.
Get in there now while the time's right, because I do think you've got an opportunity in the next 3 to 4, maybe 5 months before you start to see people get super excited again, get some momentum built, rates creep back down. Because if a rate drops a quarter of a point, there's more deals that work.
Yes.
There's a whole pool of deals that now work. So, and the more it goes, the more that's going to be. Yeah. Things you need to do, you need to get yourself ready. If you're one of these that says, "Oh, Dean's right," you need to get yourself ready and you need to start being prepared. So kind of what does that mean? We did a whole podcast on get yourself ready to buy and get your business ready to buy. But, talk to your bankers, talk to your property management companies, start to speak to the people that are involved with your day-to-day when you're investing. Let's see. Start to source some more deals.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, I'm trying to get on that buyer link and start to see at minimum. Let's say, hey, you don't jump in head first. At minimum, let's get you that buyer link.
That's right. So because you'll start pushing out the deals. They can start making offers. You can start making offers.
Yeah.
You're not going to get your first offer.
No.
It's going to take a while. Start looking, acting so that you'll be ready.
Yeah, don't be afraid if it's the 5th, 6th, 7th offer, really. Allie, our team agent today, she told me it was their 9th.
Okay.
They didn't get it. Other people get it. There were multiple offers a few times. All that's great news. You're looking at all the right properties.
Yes.
You're just not getting them right now. It's fine. It's coming. You're going to get the right one. And I'd rather you take 10 offers and 10 tries to get the right one versus 2 or 3 and we buy the wrong one. So let's see. Don't be afraid to pull the trigger. That's another one I've always talked about with these offers. When you make an offer with our team, it's not a goal line commitment stand, right? Like you have a lot of opportunities to back out of that thing to verify what we've looked at before you can get out of it. Yeah, no.
Again, that's great. I think now's the time. It's an opportunity. The window's open.
Yeah, I do think that. That's why today's kind of topic, I titled it a little bit like, are we back? It's like, is this going to be a new run that we're going to go on for real estate? I hesitate on talking about a real long run, but I will tell you there is that 3 to 5, 4 month, 5 or 5, 6 month time frame here that we're going to be able to get some deals done that we hadn't been.
I mean, I just think about, we work closely with wholesalers, which we encourage wholesalers to, for buyers to go through you to use wholesalers, but you work close with wholesalers, and they have told us, you have seen that the hedge funds, some big buyers, institutional type buyers, are very active right now.
What's that tell you? It tells you big money. Is spending right now.
And they had been on the sidelines for a couple of years since those rates started going up. So a little over 2 years. Here we go.
I think it's 3 companies that wholesaler said are now buying that have been kind of on the shelf.
And seem to be the most active buyers in Memphis right now.
Yeah.
And I've heard that nationally as I keep in touch with other people in other markets.
And some people might ask, why is that relative? Sorry. They might ask, why is that relative? Well, because all the research that these huge companies do, they're not wasting money. They're spending money when they know it's the right time to spend money.
Yes.
So why wouldn't you spend the same money?
Yeah. I think that one nugget I take out of that is that they anticipate that it's going to be more competitive and higher prices in the future.
Number 3, what does this mean for our market?
Yes.
More demand, higher pricing, and more competition.
I believe that is what they see.
Yeah, I do too.
And so now they are getting a jump start on everybody.
I have another client that I'm representing and work with that is entering into in a major way the real estate market.
Yeah.
And has dabbled in it in the past, but now is head diving into it.
Yeah.
So
beating everybody. And I think from my understanding of that client is they're anticipating that their purchase price now will only appreciate in the future.
Yep, 100%. The current administration is going to lower rates. They got $7 trillion to refinance in November. That's not a political statement. That's factual. I don't care about anything that's going on. Well, they've got to lower it. It's going to lower. So that's going to create demand. That's going to create higher pricing. That's going to create competition. And everybody, I believe that smart money, big money, shark money, if you're using a gambling term, that's what they're spending their money on right now is real estate because they know it's going to take another tick up.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a relative topic today. I do think, is the real estate market bouncing back? I believe in some way. You can bounce a ball real hard or real light, but there is a bounce. So I'm excited to be a part of it. Dean at CrestCore.com. If you've got any more questions about this one today, shoot me an email. I'll get you that buyer link over. See you next week.